Hey kids, it's Mr. Fly here, hope you're well. Today, Royal Enfield have announced a brand new Himalayan 450. So we've known about this bike for a while, haven't we? But the EICMA show is on in Milan at the moment, and today, officially, Royal Enfield have announced the release of the brand new 450cc Himalayan, or Himalayan, as it's correctly pronounced. What I'll do is I'll read you the press release with some of the highlights that I've picked out from here on the new bike. I know this is going to be quite a popular bike with adventure-type motorcyclists. I'll put some pictures on the screen as I go, and then we'll look at some of the detail on the bike and just sort of see if we can draw any first-look conclusions. So this is my first-look review. All right, first off then, it says here, based on Royal Enfield's latest, lightest and most technologically advanced vehicle integrated powertrain, the new Himalayan will be powered by the new Sherpa 450 liquid-cooled engine and will have a host of new integrated tech features that enhance and improve the adventure touring experience on the new motorcycle. The new Royal Enfield Himalayan will be launched in India before the end of this year and will subsequently be available across other regions. So we're going to be seeing this quite soon. I'll skip through all the marketing fluff here and get to the details. Capable but not intimidating, all right, that's a bit of marketing fluff, is the ethos of the Himalayan. From the improvements to power, performance and handling, the all-new Himalayan is an easy, forgiving motorcycle to ride. Well, it was always easy to ride, wasn't it, the old Himalayan? That particular bike had lots of fans, didn't it, the existing bike? I wasn't a big fan of the way it looked, but there's no doubt it was rugged and it was dependable. Yeah, it wasn't really a bike for me. It was definitely lacking in power and punch, so and I didn't like the utilitarian looks either. This one looks much better to me though, and with a 450cc engine with more power, obviously, the thing is going to feel much better on the road, I think. The new motorcycle has more ground clearance to avoid getting beached off-road and a clear, simple navigation system to remove the need for a separate GPS unit on the handlebars, which is excellent. That's based on Google. More about that in a minute. With maximum power of 40 PS, so that's actually quite a usable amount of power now at 8,000 RPM and a maximum torque of 40 Newton meters at 5,100 RPM. The new 452cc Sherpa engine makes 90% of its torque from 3,000 RPM upwards, giving a tractable power delivery without the need to be revved to the moon to go nowhere. Well, this sounds good again in the real world, doesn't it? If you are going on rough roads and stuff, that's exactly the right amount of power you need, I think. It's going to be Royal Enfield's first liquid-cooled engine. It's got a new 6-speed gearbox and it has a slip and assist clutch. It's got an all-new steel twin spar frame, and the chassis includes new Showa cartridge-type inverted forks as well, which is the first, I think, for Royal Enfield. The Himalayan retains the proven 21-inch front and 17-inch rear wheel combination, perfect for the rough stuff. It says here the new motorcycle is narrower between the legs. The rear section of the new 17-litre fuel tank has been slimmed down to give a more comfortable knee recess when riding. Between the standard and the optional low seat, the rider gets a wide range between 805mm seat height all the way up to 845mm seat height, so that makes it very accessible for all sorts of riders. A couple of other things I picked out here from the press release. The new Tripper Dash offers the world's first full map navigation on a round display built with Google Maps engine with audio guidance in more than 130 languages. I assume that requires relies on you having your phone connected to it. I don't know, but anyway, it looks good from what I've seen of it. If you've been watching Itchy Boots, she's been riding the sort of a pre-production version of the bike, and she's been using that nav system on that. It looks pretty good to me. Doesn't say anything about the price of the bike. I assume it's going to be competitively priced, but I do think this one looks good, doesn't it? If you were in the market previously for something like, say, a CRF 250, if you want to do some light green laning, this thing looks like it might now be in that same sort of ballpark. Anyway, let's take a look at some of the detailed pictures to see what we think of the styling. I've got a few here on the screen. I'll pop them up large on the screen as I look through these so we can enjoy them together. So this is this first one of the colour scheme of this black and gold, or black and yellow, looks great, doesn't it? I think it looks really good, and in this image it looks like it's nicely finished as well. The outgoing Himalayan, well, I say outgoing, I assume this is going to replace the existing Himalayan. I don't actually know that for sure. The fit and finish on it was nowhere near as good as the newer Royal Enfields, the 350s for example. This looks like it may have gone up a notch by that picture. The paint looks good, doesn't it, on here? It's got that distinctive Himalayan logo on there, which looks good. Also down on the front fork protectors, that looks good there. Nice to see some gold spoke wheels, always like those. This rear exhaust does worry me slightly because this looks like a similar finish to the one that we saw on the, was it the Meteor? Can't remember, no, the Scram 411, which I borrowed that a while ago, and that one suffered from some sort of light corrosion very early on. I think this may well be the same finish as that, so that's slightly worrying. I think this might suffer for some light surface rust early on. The rear shock doesn't look too high quality there, does it? I'm sure it's fit for purpose, but yeah, it looks like a budget item. Moving on, a few more pics of the tank with the logo on there, but the switchgear was something I wanted to mention. So they've changed it to the more rotary switchgear, but this to me doesn't look very good quality. If you look at the way that indicator switch is, look, there's little cracks and stuff either side of it. Just doesn't look high quality, the switchgear, does it? Whereas it does look higher quality on the 350s. I wonder, which looks superficially the same, but this doesn't look as good as that. I'm wondering whether this is made at a different factory and quality control isn't quite there. I don't know. Same with the switchgear on the other side. Doesn't look quite as good as that as we've seen on some of the other Royal Enfield models, I think. I might be being unfair, but just going by these pictures, that's how it looks. And then here, this is the display, which looks great. I love the round LCD dash, and this is what you get the trip and nav on as well. What I think is funny here is, for a promo pic, it says, look, low battery charging required, and it's got a dismiss thing on there. I think only Royal Enfield would send out a PR pack that has that included. There's a night and day version of the picture, and look, it's got the same thing on the night version as well, which I think is quite funny. But that, disregarding that, the actual display itself looks nice and clear, doesn't it? So thumbs up for that. Seat's got Royal Enfield written on it. Looks like it's got LED lights, which is a good thing. Now here's the engine itself. Looking at the finish on here, I think this looks all right as well. This looks to be a similar finish to the engines on the 350s, which I've said are great before. So, you know, where I've said the switchgear looks like it might be a bit low quality, the engine finish looks good, doesn't it? So overall, we'll wait and see for the actual bike. But I think overall the fit and finish looks all right if these pictures are anything to go by. Certainly in that image there, the black and yellow paint scheme looks great. And yeah, there's the spokes again. Front light looks LED as well. Another shot of the engine, another shot of that exhaust that slightly worries me. Rear swing arm looks quite basic, but then you'd expect that, wouldn't you, of a bike of this type? And again, I expect it's going to be budget price range. Yeah, there we go. So that all the front view there. Not sure I like the looks of that screen, but I'm sure it'll be very effective. And of course, it does go up and cover up that the dash as well. So I understand why it's like that. Just whipping through the final ones. The handlebars look good. Now, these are the top of the shower forks. They look pretty good, non-adjustable, of course, but again, high quality items. And then if we go on, I think, oh, here's another colour with a white with a sort of world map type of plan on it. Don't like that as much as the other one. But there again, we can see the headers and that exhaust pipe. It does look like it might be that finish that I'm worried about. We'll see. And by braking on it as well, which is the cheaper Brembo branding, which is pretty good actually. So that's good. So there we are. Anyway, there we go. That's my first look at the Himalayan. I didn't much like the original Himalayan. It had lots of fans, very rugged bike and proven. I think this one is definitely a step up in terms of the numbers, the power and so on looks much better. And I think too, the pictures of the bike looks great. So yeah, look forward to riding this one, hopefully in the new year. All right, just a little bonus video for you. Hope that was of some interest. Look forward to speaking to you again soon. Until then, this has been Mist and Fly. Cheerio.
Hey kids, we're the Mist and the Flyers.